Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Cozy Does It. My name's Beth, and I'm really glad that you stopped by my channel today. Today, I want to talk about a type of clutter that I find to be the most stressful personally, and that type of clutter is paper clutter. Paper clutter is stressful to me because it's hidden most of the time, and it's something that I don't have to think about all the time, and so I don't think about it all the time. But then what happens is I notice my entryway area becoming very cluttered after a while of not dealing with my paper clutter, and it starts to stress me out. So today's one of those days, my friends, and we are going to take a look at my entryway table paper clutter. You'll see what I'm talking about. If you struggle with keeping paper clutter organized, I have some tips for you for how to keep it organized. The difficult part of paper clutter is maintenance. A lot of the times, things that you get that are paper are important. You need to keep them, or they're things like gift cards or something that has some kind of monetary value that you want to hold on to until you use them. Let me show you what the situation looks like today. And I apologize again for any construction noise that's going on. There is some construction going on nearby, but you know, we're just gonna have to deal with it. So without further ado, let's take a look at what we're dealing with today.
Okay, you guys, so this is what I'm talking about. And maybe you're looking at this and you're like, that's not so bad. But the thing that bothers me about it is that I have these two gray file boxes that I use a lot. I don't really know what's in them. And then on top of that, I have all this other stuff that you see on top of the table. So what I want to do today is weed through anything that is unnecessary. I want to set aside any gift cards that need to be used, and I want to file things in appropriate places. Anything that's ready to be discarded, I am going to shred, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But for now, let me talk through the type of shredder that I use and why you're seeing two here on the table.
So just bear with me on the weird lighting. I've only got overhead lighting right here in this spot. Let me just talk you through why I've got these two beautiful shredders here. I like to call them my shred bots, and Mike likes to make fun of me for that. But the reason I have two is because my little one here, it's model Aurora AS420C. I got this on Amazon probably like 5 years ago, and it's done me so much good in that time, but it did unfortunately die the other day. So I bought this new one, and let me give you a closer look at these two machines.
So my old shredder, my Aurora shredder on the left here, was really great. It was compact, and when I first bought it, I lived in New York, and it was nice to be able to just put it in my nightstand and just kind of forget about it when I didn't need it. So the negative part of that is it's not accessible where you want to use it if you don't have it out all the time right by your front door, basically. And another thing that was difficult with the smaller shredder was that the opening only really allowed for like tri-folded full sheets of paper, and it could take one credit card at a time, but also you have to be careful. You can't put in a credit card that has a metal chip in it, so you just want to be careful with that. What I like about my new shredder, and that's this Amazon Basics shredder, is that it can take a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, no problem. And it can take a stack of 8 of those instead of a stack of 4 sheets of paper, or rather just like 2 sheets of tri-folded paper in the Aurora. I will put the link for both of these machines in the description for this video in case you're interested in exploring them as shredder options for yourself. I do recommend the slightly bigger one just because you will get through your shredding a lot faster if you can take a full-size piece of paper in the shredder instead of having to sit there folding full-size pieces of paper into trifold sections. So let's talk about the problem. So I have things I need to file. I think what I'm going to do is just put the camera down and work on that. And then when it's time to shred some stuff, I will join you back here and we'll shred that together. And I'll talk through how I organized some of the clutter that you're seeing here.
Okay, everyone. So let me show you what it looks like right now. It is still a disaster zone, but it's an organized disaster zone, and isn't that just wonderful? So let me flip the camera around. I'll show you how it's going. I have flipped over my paper just for security purposes, so that's why you'll see like what looks like piles of blank paper in some cases. But let me flip the camera around. I'll give you a look at my organization system and how I've organized my papers so that I know where to put them away. Okay, here we go.
I have pulled out my file storage boxes and they're backwards right now. I just wanted to show you kind of what it looks like. So on the other side of these folders, there are labels designating what goes in each folder, just so that I know where to file away my different papers. I did mention before how you can't shred credit cards that have a metal chip or that are made of metal in a shredder. It will break your shredder or damage it in some way such that it inhibits it from working properly. A lot of the times when you get your new credit card, the credit card company will send you a prepaid envelope that you can mail back your metal credit cards. So if you are looking to destroy your old credit cards, that's how you would do that if they have a metal chip in them. Here are my piles of papers that are ready to be put away in my file folders. I've just organized them by different categories so I know what folder that they'll go in, and this will make it easier to actually put them away. What I am going to do next is actually go through some of my folders and just pull out anything that I don't actually need to hold on to anymore. That way there's more room when I go to put my papers away.
I'm making progress. It's still like overwhelming to deal with paper because it's just like, sometimes you don't know how long you need to hold on to something for. There are certain things that are like definitely old. I know I can get rid of them. Then there are things that I know that I should hold on to for an indefinite amount of time or a limited but long amount of time, like things for taxes. I've put away all the mess that was on the counter. I'll show you what that looks like now, and I think I'm just gonna give it a nice wipe down and then vacuum where the storage boxes go before I put everything away.
Here's what we're looking like right now. So the boxes have been kind of weeded through. I've taken out things that I know for sure I can shred. There are folders in my boxes for like cards and paper gifts that I tend to hoard and I'll go through them at a later time just to kind of choose what parts of that sentimental collection really still sparks joy. For now, I have the things that I know for sure I can shred in my basket down here, and that stuff will be shredded later today. So I still don't know exactly how I'm gonna organize my gift card collection, so food for thought, that'll come in a little bit.
these papers, who's boss? Did it! We have tackled the paper clutter for today. The thing that I did not get to today is how I want to best organize my gift cards. So that'll have to be another day, but I want to do it in a way where I don't forget to use them, but also where I don't have to have them cluttering my wallet or handbag all the time. So I want to like have a purpose if I'm going out to be able to just grab that gift card for that store that I'm going to or that restaurant that I'm going to already and be able to use it then. So I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about recycling electronics. I know in one of my other videos we talked about recycling clothing and textiles. So this is another one of those items that people may hesitate to recycle because they don't know how to. So how I typically recycle larger electronics is to bring them to Best Buy. Best Buy has an electronics recycling program, and so that's my plan for how I'm going to dispose of my broken Aurora shredder. So next time I'm headed out to somewhere in the direction of Best Buy, I will drop off my shredder and recycle it there just so that they can dispose of it in a better way than me just putting it in my trash. Another thing about recycling, specifically recycling paper or shredded paper, is you want to check your local guidelines to see what your local public works will accept or your local recycling program will accept. It tends to differ. So I will link a website for the Environmental Protection Agency so you can see what they recommend is able to be recycled. It might be different though from your local guidelines, so please do check with your local public works department. You can do this by going to your town's website or your community's website and looking up their trash and recycling guidelines. If you are still unsure and you really want to make sure you're getting it right, you can always call the office and speak with someone and ask. Oh, one more thing. I have read multiple times now that you cannot recycle receipts. This is because of a chemical used in the thermal paper that receipts are printed on. So if you do plan to shred your old receipts, you want to shred those and throw them in the trash separately from the rest of what you're shredding if you plan to recycle your other shredded materials. I think that that's everything I wanted to cover. I know I keep adding things onto here. Anyways, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. It's been so great having you, and I'm really glad that you joined me for this one. It kind of is incentive for me to actually get my decluttering done, knowing that you guys are watching these videos. So it really lights a fire under me to kind of get my own self in shape and follow my own advice. So we did it together. I hope that this video inspires you to start to tackle your paper clutter. If you are a person who tends to hold on to paper, I know that it can be really overwhelming. It was definitely the most overwhelming part of the decluttering process for me. So if you do have any questions or concerns, if I'm able to help you, I would love to kind of answer your questions. If you have a comment, leave me one down below, and if I don't know the answer, I will try to point you in the direction of a better resource for answering your question. Like I said, I will put a link down in the description for this video that will give you some more guidelines on recycling different items. And like I said, you will really need to consult your local guidelines to be sure that you're doing it correctly for your own town or community. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll join me next time. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button down below or leave me a comment. And until next time, I hope you have a really cozy day. Bye.